Alrighty, well, obviously the daily reset happened like an hour ago. To be honest, I've been doing my dailies and whatnot, but here we are. If we head over to the banner, there she is. Emma is in the building. The banner is exactly timed with Alicia, not Alicia, sorry, Cheyenne. So, obviously when these two girls disappear, Alicia will then make her way in, of course. But the banner is here. So, you know, I assume people are now really questioning on what to do. Now, the one thing which I want to quickly mention and which I find very, very interesting is Beast is gone. And if you look on the rate up list, he's nowhere to be seen. So the big old question is, when is he going to get added? Now, here's my theory. I think that they'll add Beast into the custom rate up banner when Cheyenne disappears. And then Cheyenne will eventually go in to the banner when Alicia's banner disappears, if that makes sense, right? That's what I'm going with. But he's not in the banner, he's not here, I'm afraid, because of course I know some people might be waiting for Cheyenne to drop into this banner. I feel like some people might be saving their custom draws for that, which is smart, not gonna lie. But yeah, he didn't immediately go in there, so I guess we'll have to wait and see in about 13 days time when Cheyenne banners disappear, because when that goes away, if Beast does come in, then it does confirm that when the Alicia banner disappears, Cheyenne will be on the rate up list or in the custom draw banner. So that's the situation with that. So with that out of the way, Emma is in the building. Now let's talk about building her, because there is to be fair, there is actually multiple ways to go about building her, depending on how you want to build her, depending on how you want to utilize her. Now, obviously with the set that I've got currently got going on, this is pretty standard for break characters, where you've got the solid analysis set going on, so that way, you know, the user's damage dealt to enemies in break state get increased by 15%, and then by having a full set, when attacking enemies that have elemental weakness, the break effect increases by 30%. So in terms of enemy being weak to fire, Emma will eat them alive, pretty much. Got to keep in mind that she fully covers break in all of her move sets. So if you want to build her way this way, which most people have, you can do so. I feel, again, this is universal for break coverage, just an FYI. Especially if you do have, and if you are lucky enough to get the first dupes on her, that is full on break, like 100% break coverage from Emma. That's it. Those first dupes, sorry, the first two dupes, at that point I would honestly say cater to this breakage kit of hers. Obviously with the solid analysis full set, you can just throw on the executioner set if you want to. Now with the accessories, there's two ways to go about it, so I'm going to mention this right now. You can either go with the executioner set, which most people do, and I have, or you can go for the concentration firepower. So obviously it increases the skill MP consumption rate by 20%, however you increase the user's damage dealt by 5% and decrease the user's basic skill cooldown by 5%. Obviously you want to run a full set on that, so that way the increased damage effect is going up by 18%, but the skill reduction effect of basic skills drops down by 18%. Honestly, it really is that cooldown for the skill in my eyes on that's kind of like the seller. But these two are the most optimal sets for Emma in terms of the accessory routes. Anything else I really wouldn't advise. It's just these two I would suggest, depending on whichever one gives you better stats. Obviously looking into substats, you want to cater to HP because she is scaling off from HP, just an FYI, so that's something you want to cater to. Defense penetration, you want to cater to that because of course her heated mission does give her that defense penetration increase. Fire damage, that's kind of standard. I mean, everyone's going to be universally doing that, of course. Damage increase, attack, yeah, I think that's kind of what I would be suggesting in terms of what you're looking out for, of course, when building her up. So getting that out of the way and looking at the initial set, which most people are running, when it comes to the alternative, if you want to, I'm going to throw this in here because why not? With the accessory sets that I've got going on with Park right here, which by the way I've done a video on how an amazing character she is, so please do check that out if you haven't built her up. One of the best SRs in the goddamn game. But if you would like to, this is an option. This is a big option. You can run a support Emma. Now obviously with this set, I know some people are going to hate it because of course it's reducing attack and you want Emma to do damage. I get that, but obviously with the build of these accessories and the artifacts, of course, it is providing support and damage increase to a team member, which ultimately will be Choi or Cheyenne or Jiwoo. Honestly, those are going to be the characters which a lot of people will be running Emma with. I'm just putting that out there. And so through that, you can capitalize and you can maximize on the heat mission buff that she also applies. So of course, giving them defense penetration increase, the fire damage increase, and then again that applies to the whole team. So that's what I mean by running a support version of her. You can really maximize on providing them with the attack up along with the heat mission. So that's why with Choi, she is just absolutely perfect, because yeah, that full-on support right there would buff this man up to hell and back. So that's something to cater to if you choose to. Again, not many people run a support version of Emma, but it is an option. It is an option, most definitely. Now, another way to go about building up Emma, if you would choose to, you can mix and match. Now, what I mean by that is you can run a double set of Noble Sacrifice. As you guys can see, she will then get an increase of her HP by 8%. Alright, don't need that full set, because you still want to do damage, of course. So that first 2 sets of Noble Sacrifice will work perfectly. Now, what would be the other 2 sets? Well, you could, if you would choose to, keep with the break coverage. So obviously you would then add on a 2 set on the solid analysis, so that way you've got the damage dealt to enemies in the break state increased by 15%. Or you've got the armed set, increase the user's attack by 5% if you just want that extra bit of damage, which not really I mean, you could, but if you really want to maximize the ultimate, increase the ultimate damage by 25% with Noble Sacrifice to get that HP increase by 8%. Because you got to keep in mind, Emma's ultimate is not to be slept on, because Emma's ultimate already has that built-in effect where heat emission, when it's active, the damage increase is by 77.77%. So you can really maximize on Emma's ultimate, because it does slap. That's the best word I can think of right now. It does slap. Now, that being said, I have seen a few people run a full set of one-hit kill. If you would like to, it is an option. Yeah, at that point, you are going to be fully committing to a DPS version of Emma. At that point, I would suggest. So, if you would like to, go for that, and then of course, that is when the concentration of firepower will then come into play in terms of running a full set of that, of course. So that's what I would suggest, because at that point you really need to maximize of getting your instances up to get your heat mission going, and then you can maximize that ultimate damage straight off the bat. So yeah, that's something which I would cater to. But yeah, those are the sets that I would suggest in terms of running for Emma. So it just really depends on what you want. Now I'm just going to throw this in here in terms of what weapons you want to use with Emma, because of course, yeah, I mean, clearly if you don't build her weapon, then you're going to have to utilize the SR to rare weapons, of course. You can stick with power acquisition, increase the power gauge acquisition rate. I mean, that is a pretty nice choice to have for Emma itself. You can also resort to going with elemental weakness if you want to kind of pile on more on that. If the enemy is weak to fire, then yeah, you can get that elemental weakness, of course, if you choose to. Or you can just give yourself the base. I mean, you've also got the core attack. How can I forget? To be honest, supporting more on the core attack, she would absolutely slap. So yeah, good percentages all around. But obviously the basic skills you want to level up, the ultimate you want to level up, and I'm gonna be honest. Core attack, focus on that. I think those are the fours I would. I mean, well, yeah, and then Q to E will be last. I think that's how I would look at it. But anyway, boys, I am absolutely knackered. I need to go to bed, so I'm gonna get this video uploaded for you guys, and then when I wake up, I will show you the reason why Emma is being used and why people want Emma, I guess. But the key reason why people are utilizing Emma, I'll show you case that. Alright boys, I'm out. Take care. Peace.